some really good, and you have to do one of these like 4 or 5 times just to savor the last bit of flavor on it.
Like old man noises when you eat?
No, after you're done chewing, you're like...
Doesn't matter if you do it during, after, or before.
Anyways,
when
Rocco,
you start doing all
kinds,
kinds, when you're doing all kinds of popping sounds, popping sounds when you eat is literally the most annoying thing you can do.
I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we started very well.
How you guys doing? Hey, I'm reclaiming my time.
Good. That's good. Let's start.
I have 5 minutes, all right? Hi, guys. How you doing today? Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every day, coming at you live from our studio, Las Vegas, Nevada. We have a...
I have a headphone. So stop it.
Yeah. Mute him. Thank you, Talladega. Mute him. Jesus Christ. Anyways, we have a fun show for you today. We're talking, it's a very Ethereum-focused show. 2 days post-Shapella. What's going on? Everyone thought ETH was going to dump. Oh my God, there's hundreds of millions of billions of bajillions of dollars becoming unlocked and it's going to get dumped on the market. But the opposite happened. What is it going to look like over the next few weeks? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Bitcoin. We got XRP news. SEC filed a letter. XRP, well, Ripple filed a counter letter. We have those ready for you. And we have much, much more to talk about. And plus, Boris will be joining us in T-minus 10 minutes to go over the charts. But first, I now give up my time to your co-host, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused crypto channel where we take old, boring, and stale information, repackage it up, fun, sexy way. Okay, Bitcoin, 30,000. We almost got to 31,000. Was it yesterday?
Robin, I want to ask you. If I said, hey, Rob, if you were to compare drinking cow's milk to something, what would you compare it to?
Cow's milk?
Yeah,
as opposed to another animal?
No, just, you know.
I mean, I only drink cow. Are you drinking other milk other than cow? I'm just curious.
No, I'm just saying, if you were to compare it to something,
like sheep's
what would
milk,
you compare
like
it to?
what it?
No, like drinking milk is like
a little crocodile milk.
Is like what, Robin? Drinking milk is like what?
I don't know. When I drink milk, have a glass of milk, I just drink milk.
Robin,
I don't think about it.
Robin, PETA is here to give you an answer. Drinking a cow's milk is just as weird as drinking your neighbor's breast milk. Now, what are your thoughts on this, Robin? Give us a good analysis on it.
I mean, you know, I like cold milk.
Have you ever drank someone else's breast milk before?
I'm just saying, if it was the same taste as the regular milk, sure, why not?
What are you talking about, dude?
Okay. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, I don't care if it comes from a cow. I just want the product, you know?
Huh. Did it come with a spoon?
No.
No, an edible straw for you. Also, Jim Cramer at it again. Tweets, Boeing's really incredible. Literally like 10 minutes later, Boeing warns production problem will likely slow deliveries of their 737s. And the stock went down 6%.
Hold on. Damn, that's crazy. That's literally 6% a day, huh?
I think yesterday. Oh, today, yeah. Today. This dude is the kiss of death, man. I hope we never get big enough to where Jim Cramer knows us and starts talking about it.
It is literally not even 24 hours later, down 6%. 6% is a lot in the stock market world.
It is. Also, Robin.
What you got?
So the Secret Service is not only tracking social media, but they're tracking OnlyFans as well. So this is from Wall Street Silver. Yes, dear, I'm just doing the late night work from home for national security. What?
It's like, why are you tipping them? Like,
do you need to subscribe to their channels? Honey, this is for work, okay? It's for the security of this country. And then, guess who was just voted best place to work in the federal government? The SEC. One of the best places to work. I wonder why. Why do you think that is, Robin? They were number 5 last year, and now they're number 1.
They answer to no one. So it's nice being your own boss, right? As and especially in government, you know, you always gotta be careful with the other agencies, and you know the regulators are trying. They answer to no one.
Absolutely.
They make their own rules up, and they rule by enforcement.
Absolutely.
Like a legalized drug cartel, right? Minus the drugs.
Robin, are you ready to go out there and lick the world?
Lick the world?
My heart. There's nothing our nations can't achieve if we do it together. I really mean it. So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done. My heart. There's nothing our nations can't achieve. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done. My heart.
You think he just saw that that viral
The what?
viral video with the suck the tongue thing weirdo?
Dalai Lama?
Yeah. What is going on, man?
Let's go out there and lick the world.
Like, okay, I'm sorry, dude has just, he ain't there, bro.
There's nothing there.
He is, they're just wheeling that carcass out there in front of microphones, and they're just like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, read the teleprompter. They're like, read the teleprompter. And then he comes back and they give him a lollipop. They're like, you didn't read the teleprompter, did you? We didn't put lick in there.
You know,
he's a puppet, man.
You know the dentist
You think he's coming up with any kind of regulation himself?
No.
Do you think that like he's sitting in his office, like reading like these? Here's the thing: like, we look at these proposed bills all the time. This is the man that signs bills into law, right? This is him. Do you think he can barely stay awake during a press conference? He's dozing off. I have a hard time reading a book without dozing off. I couldn't imagine this man trying to read a whole proposed bill or law.
He doesn't.
And just knocked out, bro. The dude is.
Jimmy said he can't stay, but wanted to drop in and say hola. Jimmy, where you going, bro? Yeah, I think he has a baseball tournament. Anyways, we had a $2 super chat from Crick Cats. He was too busy thinking about ice cream. That's a good point. What flavor ice cream, you might ask? Well, look no further than his last video, chocolate chip ice cream. Okay. That's all I got for funny today.
Oh, you know what I got? So things are getting spicy out here. So here you have a captured Russian tank from the war in Ukraine mysteriously shows up at truck stop in Louisiana.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? A truck stop.
A Russian tank mysteriously appeared off the highway of Louisiana on Tuesday.
Hold on, man.
Nobody knows where the tank came from or where it's supposed to go.
From Ukraine to Louisiana.
I feel like I don't know, man.
What the hell?
You know, like when there's like chaos, people just start looting and stealing. You know, like power goes out, a hurricane like knocks out.
But how did you get it over here?
That's what I'm saying. A whole tank. And then why did you leave it outside of a truck stop?
Why didn't you try to sell it at a pawn shop?
I don't know.
Rob, before we bring Forrest on, I would like you to take a look at what the markets are doing.
Of course. So,
thank you so much. Well,
all right. And taking a look, we do got Bitcoin coming in at $30,283.
We're crashing, man.
I'm crashing. So we were testing looked like it was almost 31.
Pattern,
I'm not sure what to call this, but we're over 30K. So that's positive. I think you think we're gonna stay above 30K? What's your first thoughts?
Yeah.
In the next week.
I do.
Cool. And then
can you scroll up real quick? I want to see what Ethereum dominance is. Almost 20%. Damn. That's crazy. Anyways.
So ETH is still up 3% just on the 24 hours. 11% on the week, and looking good, man. Look at that rally right there, man.
That's called the high top fade.
The high top fade, huh? And then taking a look at 1 week ago, we were at 1,800, and after the successful rollout of Shanghai and the unlocking, you starting to see bullish price movement.
I think everyone on the show, including Boris, who's joining us here in 10 seconds, I think we all said we didn't think ETH would dump. I know a lot of people thought ETH would dump.
Nah.
I mean, which I can understand why, right? You're like, oh my God, all this money's being unlocked. Everyone's going to sell. But people forgot to take into account deposits. People forgot to take into account that it's a staggered withdrawal system. You essentially enter into a queue. And now that ETH is over $2,000, I mean, majority of people that staked are now in profit. Majority tokens that were staked are in profit. So anyways.
Cardano, nice rally today, up almost 5%.
Wow.
So
huge for Cardano.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It is, all jokes aside, it is kind of a big move compared to the rest of the top assets. So Bitcoin just down almost 0.5%, so pretty flat. Ethereum's up 3%, but leading the charge out of the top 20 is Cardano, up 12% for the week as well. And maybe it has something to do with the fact that it is ETH's biggest competitor, or the one that's most likened to Ethereum from the layer 1 chains. And so because ETH pumped, perhaps Ethereum is rallying for that reason. I haven't really seen any big breaking news. Have you seen any big breaking news out of Cardano?
Charles did an AMA yesterday.
I saw that, but I didn't see anything.
Me neither.
Nothing came out of that.
He briefly mentioned, kind of, not really, but did a little teaser ZK rollups for Cardano. I want to give a quick shout out to J Mac. I've seen his name in here 2-3 days in a row. He said we're one of his new favorite channels. So J Mac, what's going on, bro? How you doing? Hola. Also, we have Sistine Research in the house, not only in the chat, but live. Rocco Patcherman. Boris.
What's up, guys?
What's up, bro? Hey,
not much.
Can you can we try the Utes coffee when we're down there?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a new fresh batch coming in today. So yeah, well, we'll definitely set it up.
Robin will only drink the coffee if on the label it says where the beans are from. Does it say like if it's from like a specific region in South America or?
Yeah.
No.
These are like high
Is it from the metaverse?
Directly sourced from Ethiopia. No, not metaverse. But I got some good Ethiopian beans coming in the mail today.
So speaking of picking up things, are you picking up the new Solana phone? It's a $1,000.
We committed to buying one.
We're buying one. It's gonna be our company phone. We don't have a company phone yet. We all have our own personal cell phones. So our first company phone, we're going all in on Solana.
We're doing it. Are you joining us?
That's funny. I don't know. I might. I'm very bullish on Solana recently for kind of like next market cycle, and I think I'm kind of shocked, David, that you're getting a Solana phone. Is this going to be a painful
It's
experience
not our
for you?
personal. It's only our work phone.
No,
First of all,
look,
nobody. I don't know who would call us,
listen.
but
At the end of the day, I'm in this space because I love this space, and I think if it's,
here's the thing. Like if we were news reporters and we had a chance to get a ticket to the original Titanic, we would. But we would also
what?
We would also have our own life vests and exit strategy. I'm just saying that sometimes you want a front row seat to the disaster. Potentially.
You're saying Solana phone's gonna be a disaster?
I'm just saying there's a potential for it, and so if it goes down, we should go down with the ship with it. You know what I mean? And we can cover it live, and then we can actually relate to it. Be like, yeah, Solana.
Oh, Robin.
I'm just saying.
I think this is, even in the short term, could cause a little bit of a rally in Solana, mainly because like the tech YouTubers. This is like the tech YouTubers that have millions and millions of subscribers, like MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, and there's like 5 other ones, millions and millions of views. And they love this stuff from a content perspective because it's something different. And I know they will all do videos on it.
That's a good point.
I mean,
That's a
good really.
That's a good point.
Honestly, like I am just curious to see what the phone kind of like just feels like.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they roll out, what features. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm actually kind of excited to have it. So.
And Robin already said he's picking up the tab. So Robin, you're a good business partner, man. Thank you so much. So Forrest, we had Shapella, right? Shanghai, Capella merged together equals Shapella. That upgrade went live, and you have been on our show. We have said the same thing. We didn't believe ETH was going to take a dump, and it didn't. It actually rallied. I'm not going to ask you if you're surprised, but did it play out the way you thought it was going to play out? And what have you noticed that maybe you didn't expect, or vice versa? Just kind of share your thoughts.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't get at least a little bit of a pullback due to some structural selling. But I've been in the camp this entire time that this could actually, be a bullish thing, in the sense that people are more happy or more confident in staking. The people that staked originally are probably not selling into this, massive rip and this massive uptrend. I think I remember being on this channel and saying, like, look, at the end of the day, it'll probably be, it'll probably be in line, and the same goes for the Mt. Gox unlocks. It'll probably be in line with whatever the trend at the moment is. So the trend at the moment is very bullish. We're in an uptrend. So this Ethereum staking unlock, it's people aren't lining up to sell their Ethereum. Now, if Ethereum was just tanking and crashing going into this, and like things where everyone was worried and they wanted to secure capital, yeah, we'd probably get a worse downtrend because of this. Same thing with the Mt. Gox unlocks. I think in a bullish trend, if Mt. Gox, if people start, this Bitcoin starts hitting people's wallets, that could, in a bullish trend, be like a liquidity. People could use that Bitcoin to lever up and take, larger longs on Bitcoin. They could sell that Bitcoin for altcoins. Like, it could be kind of like a stimulus to the overall market. So I even think that the NFT market's kind of been lagging behind in this move. This Ethereum unlock over the next couple of days, we could maybe see some of that ETH move into the NFT market, into Bored Apes, which are kind of down recently, and some other potential NFT projects could see a benefit of having more liquid Ethereum out there.
You're not the only person to bring up the whole NFT thing, and we know the NFT market's kind of dried out a little bit. You had that big rise in trading volume when Blur came out because people wanted to get the token airdrop and whatnot. But it'd be interesting to see. But I want to share a couple things, and we'll take a look at the ETH chart. So first thing I want to share in regards to ETH is liquidations. So over the last 24 hours, we have had $78 million worth of ETH being liquidated, with around 70% of those being shorts, and which ETH leads the way. Also, in more of a positive. So this is unrealized profit. And if we take a look and zoom in, we're sitting at 41% of all the tokens right now are currently in profit relative to when they were bought and the price they were bought. So this is up from 28% just 4 months ago. And then also we have this Ethereum price hits 11-month high as 240,000 ETH tokens are withdrawn. This is from Be In Crypto. Market sentiment for Ethereum has turned bullish as the asset topped the psychological $2,000 barrier. As a result, Ethereum's market dominance has increased to just under 20%, which we looked at, it's at 19.7% to be exact. According to the industry analyst Colin Wu, almost a 250,000 ETH had been withdrawn 30 hours after the upgrade. However, around 100,000 Ethereum had been deposited, meaning that the net staking balance is minus 139,000 tokens valued at $270 million. Around 1 million ETH tokens are pending withdrawals, which is roughly $2.26 billion. And also, Colin Wu noted that 63% of this is from Kraken, which had its staking services suspended. That's an interesting viewpoint. Well, not viewpoint, but an interesting twist, right? 63% of the 1 million ETH that's pending withdrawal is from Kraken. Now, how much of that we can speculate? How much of that would not be pending if their staking service didn't get shut down? Would we be at $2,200, $2,300? What are your thoughts there, Forrest? And then if you want to show an ETH chart, we can go ahead and do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to this idea of people like who wants to sell their Ethereum now. That like this was the big overhang that Ethereum had holding it back, was people were worried about like the unlock. But I think while everyone was worried about other people selling, no one actually was planning on selling themselves, right? As far as the Kraken thing goes, yeah, it's unfortunate. We're getting more and more regulation, but again, I don't think we're going to get, I've said this on the show before, I don't think we're going to get clear-cut answers from the SEC anytime soon. And as long as they don't give clear-cut answers, I don't think they're going to be able to regulate Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum's a security. I think it's a commodity. And yeah, I'm incredibly bullish on Ethereum going into next market cycle. I think over the next 2 to 3 years, we could see just massive appreciation for ETH. I've talked about this in the past too. Like when you start to look at the net issuance of Ethereum, right, and its deflationary effect, that change that has occurred over the last 6 months, last 12 months between EIP 1559 with the burning mechanism and then the shift from proof of work to proof of stake, that net issuance reduction is really similar in size to the net issuance reduction of the 2016 Bitcoin halving, where you had Bitcoin run from like $700 to $19,000. So I'm of the opinion that the structural supply flows of Ethereum, now that we're through this Shanghai fork, are very beneficial, very conducive to a really large pump. And I think over the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see Ethereum. I'm of the opinion, I think it's extraordinarily likely that we see Ethereum become the #1 cryptocurrency by market cap. And yeah, I think it just becomes very difficult for Ethereum to actually move down in price over a longer period of time. I don't think it'll be a straight line up.
This is what you're talking about right here, issuance.
Yeah, absolutely. The net issuance has just dropped off a cliff. Another really great site is Ultrasound Money, I believe is what it's called. It shows a really nice chart in the net issuance reduction of Ethereum. Basically, you have to find, like, I forget what the exact numbers are, but basically, like, Bitcoin has to find $25 million a day in demand in order for the price to remain stable, or else the price goes down just because of how much miners sell.
What was the amount for us?
It's the opposite. I'm sorry?
What was the amount you said?
I believe it's around $25 million, and that number goes up as Bitcoin's price goes up, because the amount of the price of Bitcoin is higher and higher. Hash rate also increasing. It makes it so if you don't find $25 million a day of demand for Bitcoin, the price goes down because the miners are selling in order to cover the cost of the network. With Ethereum, it's the opposite. If you don't find, I think it's a few $1 million worth of sellers, right, the price of Ethereum goes up, right, because you have a deflationary situation. So just headwind, or the tailwinds are just they over a longer period of time, it's just going to push Ethereum's price up based on simple supply and demand. So very bullish. Yeah, Ultrasound Money is a great chart to show the differences in inflation rate.
Is it .com?
No, ultrasound.money. I've got it on my end as well. Cool. But yeah, ultrasound.money is, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you can see 5,000 Ethereum burned in the last 7 days. If you change that if you click on that 7D thing in the top right corner, that'll show you how much the supply has changed over the last 30. Since the merge, 86,000 ETH, right?
Yeah.
And you can just see the difference there on the chart since the merge, where just the reduction in supply starts to become staggering.
This is over the last month as well. 21,700 ETH has been burned.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot. And when
Millions of dollars.
When people start piling back in, not only from the retail standpoint as far as speculating on price, but actually, hey, I'm running something or I'm using something on Arbitrum, I need ETH to pay gas, or I'm buying NFTs, I need ETH to pay gas, or whatever the case may be. Couple that with FOMO and retail investors, and maybe you get a big partnership from the traditional world, and hey, we're going to be using the Ethereum blockchain. We want to be able to validate and stake as well. And if this thing keeps up, I mean, you want to talk about a supply crunch? I call it a demand shock. Who knows? Rob, I want to ask you before Forrest jumps into the to the chart here. 63% of the 1 million ETH tokens that are currently in queue to be withdrawn is from Kraken. And Kraken, they got their staking services shut down. So if you were to like, do you think if that didn't happen, ETH would be at $2,400-$2,500?
So you're saying that they unstaked and they're dumping?
Well, they have to.
Why are they dumping? They don't have to sell.
Well, I mean, it's staked, so it's now becoming unstaked. It's being withdrawn.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect the order books. Price is a reflection of the buy and sell pressure, and these exchanges already have a giant liquidity in-house of these tokens. So whether it's staked or not doesn't change their position. Now, if they are liquidating their own personal treasury assets of ETH holdings, then that's what they're doing. If people, here's the thing, if they're incentivizing people to stake Ethereum through Kraken, and in turn Kraken is staking it on chain, and people are trying to withdraw their Ethereum there, then hey, all they're doing is facilitating withdrawals. But that's all in-house anyways. And so all they're really giving the end user is their cut or their percentage. And so when you use their staking platform, what do you know what their staking was for Kraken?
How much?
For Ethereum, for the user?
Close to 4%?
Yeah.
4 to 6.
So yeah, whatever it was, they were just paying out of pocket, and they had their own Ethereum tied up or users' assets staked on chain. And now they're just just part of the order books, man. I wouldn't think too much of it.
We got a $5 super sticker from Maninja. Thank you so much. Forrest, do you mind showing us an ETH chart? What's the structure looking like?
Yeah, no problem at all.
If I want to jump into ETH, what level should I be looking at?
Sure. So the first thing we need to do is throw on our easy bands and realize that this is as exciting as this is, it's not an optimal accumulation point. Our optimal accumulation points are in these green easy band regions, right? When it's oversold. Right now, Ethereum is not oversold. It's also not quite overbought, and we could absolutely see in a bear market rally, which we are in, continuation up into this red easy band area, which is actually where we'd look to start trimming a little bit. And that's between $2,400 and $3,000 ETH. So bear market rallies, just on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, historically, bear market rallies, you very commonly see a green easy band to red easy band rally, green easy band to red easy band rally, green easy band, red easy band rally. That was a correction, and then we went into the bull market, and you just, we had the Bitcoin halving, and you just stay in the red easy bands, and you have this kind of secular bull market going on. I don't believe that crypto right now is in a secular bull market until the next Bitcoin halving, and more than likely we'll probably see something like this, maybe a return to our 21-week simple moving average, maybe a return to the green easy bands if we get a recession and people get scared again, and if this plays out anything like last market market cycle did, where we saw that full pullback. So now is not necessarily the best time to be accumulating. The time has kind of passed. I would be looking for a return, like a mean reversion.
Hey Forrest.
If you're really, yep.
Real quick, so Dennis J in the chat said, what is the easy band indicator? Can you maybe, it's been a while since we kind of talked about that. Can you just explain real quick what that is and where you use it in your trading?
Sure. Yeah, so this blue line right here, that's the 21-week simple moving average. That's just going to be the average price of Ethereum over the last 21 weeks. At any given time, like right now, we are roughly 36% over the average price for the last 21 weeks, meaning we're overbought a little bit. You're paying a premium compared to what you could have bought Ethereum for on average for the last 21 weeks. We want to buy low and sell high. So yes, while the rest of the market is kind of FOMOing in right now and price is getting pushed up, and yes, this will probably rip higher, I only want to look for shorter term trades here, and I'll be looking to buy pullbacks. Where we want to look for longer term accumulations is when you're oversold against the 21-week simple moving average. And these green and red easy bands oftentimes act as support and resistance regions because we have margin pressure levels built off of the 21-week simple moving average. Basically, what this green dashed level means is that the incentive, the way these are calculated, and I won't get into the actual math here, but the way these are calculated is once we go below this green dashed easy band, you can no longer short ETH on certain amounts of leverage and hide that liquidation point or keep that liquidation point above the 21-week simple moving average or the average price for the last 21 weeks. So when we go into this zone, it's telling us that the market is very oversold and the incentive to actually short and push Ethereum's price further down has diminished greatly. Whereas the incentive up here to buy is starting to diminish greatly because we're starting to get overbought. You can no longer protect your liquidation points below the 21-week simple moving average nearly as easily. Overall, this just acts as a really, really nice, risk indicator of, hey, how overbought, how oversold are we, as well as what is the general momentum trend, right? So when these start turning downwards, right, that's a really good signal that we're going into a downtrend and we could go considerably lower. When these start trending upwards, that is a really nice momentum trend that will probably see some further upside, right? And we want to align ourselves with the general trend from a shorter term trading perspective, right? So we're already up towards this red easy band region. That means we're in an uptrend, but from a long-term perspective, I don't want to be accumulating ETH here unless I'm like on a 2 to 3 year time frame. And even then, you're almost always going to be better off being patient. But from a short-term trading perspective, we've got the momentum, right? And that means that we're in an uptrend, and we want to be looking for opportunities to buy pullbacks onto support levels, right? So we pull back onto a support level. We want to long for the short term, right? Close the trade and just capture a lot of these individual moves, right? I'll give you an example of a recent trade that I made. In and out, right? In and out. So off of our most recent swing low, this is the margin pressure level indicator. Let me actually go down to maybe the 4 hours so you can see this a little bit clearer. And this indicator, I explain it quite frequently. And essentially what this means is as we push through these levels, let's say as we push through this 3x long margin pressure level up here, it means that you can no longer go long on 3x leverage and hide that liquidation point below this local low, meaning the incentive to go long has diminished, right? Until we come back down to test it and approach from above. And as soon as we go back below 2050, right, or 2052 in this case, you can start longing again on 3x long leverage. This was a really nice entry point recently. So the most recent trade that I actually made was I longed here at 1824. I front ran it a little bit. I got my long order in at 1830, right? And I closed my trade at this resistance. Now, sometimes you pump through the resistance, hold support on the other side, and that's quite bullish. Now, I closed my trade at 2050 because we had the Shanghai fork, and I wasn't sure exactly how Ethereum would react, if it would pump through and find support, or if it would just get rejected. So I played it safe and just captured, this move right here, which is about 12.5%, which is really nice. And you lever up, 10x leverage. That's, it's a really, really nice trade. I think I used 25x leverage on that trade, actually. So yeah, this is, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, damn, 25x.
Yeah, and you see these levels, they're really, really clean. You can see that, all the support that came in on this level, all the resistance that came in on this level, we pumped through, held support, took a trip through. Now we pumped through the 3x long level, and we're holding a support here, which is a bullish sign. Now, what you want to look at in terms of, all right, do we lose this level and hold it as resistance? There's your short trigger, or there's your trigger to take some profit and get out, because we could be very easily moving back to the prior range, right? Otherwise, we do have a pretty straight shot. Well, I'm not going to say straight shot, because we can run these levels off of multiple lows, and we will find that 2400 is a really clean resistance level. But we also have some resistance all the way up at $2,800, based on that being the 2x long margin pressure level. I also personally think, if we didn't already take it out, 2165 to 2150 is going to be a key resistance level, and that's because if we run these off of this swing low at $1,075, right? You get this resistance here, meaning as soon as you go long, as soon as price goes above 2150, you can no longer go long on 2x leverage and hide that liquidation point below this last double bottom here. So the buying incentive goes away, and that could very easily manifest as resistance, and it's also fine. Frequently on these, returns back up, you'll see that last impulse move up, that last resistance level before we saw the big spill off will very frequently act as resistance on the way back up, and that's frequently where you kind of put in a little, if you are going to break through it, remove drawings, that's frequently the point where you'll kind of top out, and we're probably close enough there that the top may be in, and then start putting in your cup and handle pattern, right? And you get this pullback to this range here, and then cup and handle forms, or some sort of ascending triangle, which we've been watching for quite some time, is this just this general trend here, which is very sloppily drawn, probably something more like that. Right, so watch for a pullback into this region off of a 2150, 2165 resistance. Otherwise, we pump through resistance around 2400, resistance around 2800.
Okay, what's your take on Arbitrum? Arbitrum is up over 30%. Over the last 7 days. We had that little snag with the Dow. Is Arbitrum a good investment in your opinion? Whether that's through looking at what the chart says, or just your thoughts in general?
Yeah, so I've got the chart pulled up. I don't think Arbitrum's a good buy right now at all. I think we see this time and time again with airdrops. You see a large pump, and then it comes down, right? Test support. This is really strong support. I also posted a trade that I made. It was something along the lines right there. I think it was actually, I got in right. This is super annoying when this happens. There we go. Something like this. And I closed my trade yesterday at $1.50 because we did have that kind of psychological resistance. So you can see that we started chopping in there. No interest in taking this much higher. We're actually at some resistance right now at 168, which I'll throw on. We don't have enough data to throw on the easy bands yet, but we can absolutely throw on our long margin pressure levels. But just since it's such a recent chart, I do have to go to another chart and then kind of drag them over into our most recent time frame. So we can start mapping out resistance based off of our all-time low here. And you can see that's actually where we found support on this margin pressure level, right around 146. We actually talked about that on our live stream last night, saying this we mapped out this potential trade going long at 146. I did not take it. I'm not interested in something that's kind of pumping this hard. We said 144 to 146, and then we've got resistance up here between 168 and 173. Your psychological levels are going to be 175, which isn't a huge one, but then $2. I'd be looking to short around $2. These pumps can get really, really crazy, and you can blast through $2, and then you put in your lower high at around $2, right, and then push lower down. Running this off of our most recent swing low, that gives some resistance around 193, 218. And this is where this gets a little bit more difficult to trade when you're kind of pumping like this. You can blow through these levels, and then you kind of have to watch the shorter term price action. But to answer the question, yeah, I mean, Arbitrum will probably continue to pump. $2.50 are going to be key resistance levels. I'll probably look to short around $2 to $2.50. I captured a nice chunk of this move, and I'm in and out. While I do think we are going to get an altcoin pump here, and we're already starting to see some altcoin pumps, I don't want to be the guy that longs and then rides this all the way back down. I'm happy to just get in and get out in some of these shorter term trades right now. The market's a little bit risky, in my opinion, right now for that to happen. Just to show you the margin pressure levels on Bitcoin, just to kind of show you the resistance that we're actually getting, and the reason why I think we could be getting a correction here soon across the market once alts finish running. We've touched this 2x long margin pressure level perfectly, held resistance at it. That is going to be a very difficult level to push through at around 31K. And we could very easily see the full pullback to the 3x long or even somewhere along the way. But even in a bull market, that 25% pullback is very common. And I will show you an example. So for reference, off of our swing low, right, we're looking at this 2x long to 3x long pullback. That would be from 31K to 23K, 25% pullback, right? If we drag our margin pressure levels over to the bull market, right, I'll show you this exact same setup off of our, our first bull market correction. We put this on the swing low, and we got this nasty correction off of our 2x long down to our 3x long level. That was a full 25% correction. And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw something like that now out of Bitcoin, right back down to this range here before continuing upwards. That would still keep our uptrend intact, but I think it would catch a lot of people off guard. And once altcoins run here, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is at risk of putting in a local top, right? And that's the reason I'm saying that. I'm not calling a correction here. I'm not saying that we're going to correct. I'm saying that there's a risk of a pretty steep correction, and what that would do to altcoins after they've already run would be pretty disgusting. And that is why I'm very cautious with a lot of these altcoin plays and trades to just get in and out, like Arbitrum, in and out. Even Ethereum, I'm getting in and out because, again, on Ethereum, we're kind of getting towards those red easy bands. I don't want to get caught buying the top and then riding it back down or getting liquidated.
Okay. Dave Digital was asking, you're saying 2x, 3x long. We know you're talking about margin pressure levels. How would you explain that to people that are watching that don't know what margin pressure levels are, and why are they so important to trading and finding levels to buy and sell at?
Yeah, the best way I can show this is some of the most recent price action. I'll show you, they've been super accurate for Bitcoin recently. Resistance right there. We haven't gotten a whole pullback yet, but again, I kind of just talked about the potential for a large pullback, and I'll show you another example off of our most recent swing low down to like 19.6K. This also captured the most recent kind of local high here at 29,354. That was perfect resistance, and off of that, I believe we got a 8, 9, 10% pullback. The reason these act as support and resistance levels is because there's leveraged traders in the market. And the crypto market, particularly Bitcoin, is a very, very leveraged market. And what these do, these levels isolate for the incentives of those leveraged traders. So this 3x long level is simply just saying that as price comes up to touch this region, as it tries to go above this region, you can no longer go long on 3x leverage. So you can no longer multiply your capital by 3x. When you're just trading on leverage, you're taking out essentially a short-term loan from the exchange. You're borrowing money, using your money as collateral. You amplify your own buying power by 3x long. And essentially, if there's a 33% pullback, right, a 33% pullback, you're going to get liquidated, right? Because why would the exchange give you a loan to buy, 3 times the amount of Bitcoin that you can actually afford, and then let you ride that all the way to zero? They're only going to let you ride it until your capital 33% of the way down, until you can no longer, afford. That's just the way liquidations work. So, for anybody that doesn't understand this, you kind of have to understand how leverage trading works, and how leverage works, and how isolated leverage and isolated margin trading works. But essentially, there's a whole bunch of traders out there, and they want to go long on Bitcoin in this uptrend. But as soon as price goes above this level, they can no longer go long on 3x long leverage and hide that liquidation below this local low. They have to go down to 2x leverage, and they can continue to hide their liquidation points below this swing low, this support level, which is an ideal place to hide your liquidation point, because the market has shown that there's a lot of demand here. And if we come all the way back down, right, there's a chance that you still won't get liquidated, because we'd probably find some support in that region before maybe going back up, right? So it protects your trade against getting liquidated and you losing all of your money by hiding that liquidation point below there. But you can no longer do that on 3x leverage, which is a very common leverage amount to use, as soon as we go through 29,354. Approaching from above, you can start going long on 3x long leverage again, and that's what pushes the price back up, because incentives for long traders increase, meaning more people are likely to start taking long. So we could very easily, while we have hit some resistance here, we could see a pullback to 29,354. That's the level that I am personally looking to look how we interact with. If we pull back here, find support, then this bull trend probably continues, right? If we get acceptance below it, hold it as resistance, that's your short trigger, and we're re-entering this range, probably test the bottom of this range. If not, move back to 26.1 or potentially test 25.2 or 24.5, right? So there's support and resistance levels that are calculated by tracking or isolating for leverage trading incentives in the market. It's a little bit confusing if you're not familiar with leverage trading, but once you understand how it works, it makes a ton of sense and can really help your trading.
Yeah, I use them. I know a lot of people use them as well. And someone asking, is it a paid indicator? Yes. There's an affiliate link in the description of this video if you guys want to support Forrest, support Sin City Crypto. You also get access to his Discord as well. There's different tiers in there. You can go in there, click the link, just play around. But it's an invite-only script. You'll get it on your trading view. So, Forrest, I recently did a video on Avalanche, okay? And when I do these deep dives and I do my research, I end up convincing myself to FOMO in. And so I am just waiting to FOMO in on Avalanche. What are you laughing at over there? Seriously,
I'm laughing because
not you, Robin. Robin and Rocco are back there laughing at me. Yeah, they were laughing at me.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, no, you're good for it. You can laugh at me all you want, bro.
It sounds like the guy's like, every time I buy a gallon of ice cream, I just sit down and eat the whole damn thing.
That's true as well.
I can't just have a little bit.
That's
Neapolitan. 100%. I'm trying to argue with strawberry or chocolate or vanilla.
Anyways, Avalanche. I'm looking to put a considerable amount of money in Avalanche. I sound like Robin right now. What's my best bet? And I know there's people out there as well. The whole Amazon news, the evergreen subnets. Our video's coming out on Monday. You guys will know what I'm talking about. But what are some AVAX levels? We did get down to like $10, $11, $12 not too long ago. Are we what are the odds of seeing those levels? And if not, what's a good entry point?
Yeah. So I'll share my screen here again. Okay. I think a really good example of, a really good example to use for to compare AVAX to this market cycle is, Cardano last market cycle, where you saw this, you see this huge drawdowns, and yes, there's risk of this being a bear market rally, like we had for Cardano, and then it comes all the way back down to kind of retest these lows and maybe even takes the lows if we get a nasty recession or something. However, everything is in everything. What was the last halving? May of 2020? Yeah, I believe it was May of
Bitcoin.
2020.
Yeah, May of 2020.
May of 2020. So everything between now and March of 2024 is in preparation for the next bull market cycle by the next Bitcoin halving. At the end of the day, with a lot of these altcoins, in the long term, it didn't make too much of a difference whether you bought when it was, in the green or the red easy bands. In the short term, yes, you had to sit through, if you bought when it was overhyped and you bought the bear market rally, you had to sit through an 80% drawdown, which is just awful. And you could have gotten 5 times more Cardano by being patient and buying in the green easy bands than buying in the red. But at the end of the day, with a long enough time horizon, playing the market cycles, you still saw a ridiculous price appreciation. With AVAX, we're sitting in a scenario where from all-time high, we've seen a 92% pullback. And from all-time high last cycle, we're still sitting in an 87% pullback. Are we at the most ideal accumulation range? No, but if we're preparing for March of 2024, we basically have a very long period of time to look to accumulate, and we have a very clear demand zone that is now developed. So let me change this color really quickly just to make it a little bit clearer. There we go. Background, we'll do something like that. Okay. So we just have a really clear demand zone where we would expect buyers to step back and buy AVAX. So that's just ballparking it anywhere below, let's call it $15. Currently, we're sitting at $18.82. We're under $20. We'll probably get some resistance at $20. We'll probably get some resistance at $25 if we start moving. But from a long-term perspective, I mean, we're accumulating, right? We could get something like this, right? We're accumulating for next market cycle. And maybe I'm not saying we're going to $200 next market cycle. There's no telling what we'll go to over the next couple of years. I'm very bullish on Avalanche. I'm very bullish on Solana, very bullish on Cardano, very bullish on Chainlink and QNT and Matic. So I do think there's a strong possibility in future market cycles where we see these networks get adopted, that they go to all-time highs or they return to their old all-time highs. With a long enough perspective, I don't dislike a AVAX accumulation here. We also have a really nice inverse head and shoulders printing on this chart. So there would be, we're kind of approaching our neckline. We potentially, move up into this red easy band range, right? Up here around $25 to $30. And that would still be, in comparison to some of the bull market highs, pretty low for AVAX. Right. So yeah, I mean, you're taking risk. Look, if a recession hits, later on in this year, and we get a sell in May and go away situation, and you're buying here, you could still have to stomach, right? You'd still potentially have to stomach a 50% drawdown. But if you understand the risk and you're fine with that, I have no issue with turning on the DCA, moving between now and March of 2024, and just DCAing in through all of this type of potential nasty price action. I do think there's a strong chance you get a chance to buy it lower in the future, but nothing's guaranteed. Maybe we've got an alt cycle, an altcoin summer coming up, and we don't get opportunities to buy cheaper. So I have no issues with a DCA strategy here. I think we could cover some specific levels for AVAX, but I think in a longer term accumulation play, it's the levels are fairly clear. Anywhere get kind of. I think we talked on the live stream last night. 15 to 16 is support in the short term, and 20 to 21 is resistance. And we're kind of sitting in the middle of that range. So if you're looking for a really optimal entry, you'd look for this to pop back down to 15 to 16. The problem is we kind of already are putting in this inverse head and shoulders, so it's unclear whether or not we'll get that pullback. But yeah, I like AVAX a lot too.
Awesome, man. And then Forrest, one more chart. So we asked the community, and I'm gonna give you 3 tokens, and you pick one. Matic,
Okay.
XRP, and Gala.
Matic.
Okay.
Mainly because Matic is there's just more volume. It's a little bit easier to trade, and because Matic has just been stupidly following psychological levels. So I'll mark these out: 75 cents, $1. And I know this is unsophisticated. It's stupid. It's dumb. It shouldn't work, but it does work, especially for coins that are in this like $1 to $2 range. It's just people cannot help themselves. They cannot control their psychology, and it shows in the charts, right? And then $1.50 right there. So these are your kind of levels. And actually, there's a really cool way to get these levels a lot easier. You can just customize your Fibonacci retracement tool to just carve out the 25% quarters, and you can do something like that, and it'll I think it's actually like that. There we go. That'll go up to $1.75 or so. So yeah, those are our levels. So in the short term here, let me actually get rid of that. In the short term here, I'd just be looking for resistance at around $1.25, which is held now multiple times. We do see a nice little uptrend here. Nice little uptrend. I do think that we're due for a little altcoin run. If we go take a brief trip over to Bitcoin dominance, we talked about this last week, potentially topping out. We have the very clear daily bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence on Bitcoin dominance, which means altcoin dominance has bullish divergence. Altcoins could very well run, especially now that we're through the Shanghai fork. So this is a nice little pattern for Matic. I'll remove all of this. I'll throw on the easy bands and just kind of look, hey, we're not too far off our 21-week simple moving average. Our red zones all the way up here above $1.50, all the way up to $2. Those are our psychological levels. Resistance at 150, resistance at $2. $2, I'd be looking to trim Matic, right? $2 would be right there, which has historically been a big resistance level. Short term flipped into support, put in the head and shoulders there, turned into resistance, and this would be a return to that resistance level. So I don't dislike a Matic long here. Just have to be careful with it. Always use good risk management. We have broken through this downtrend level as well. Matic looks like it could, end up. This is a pretty bullish pattern. When this, there's no guarantees here, obviously, but it is a pretty bullish pattern. And I think we could go retest 150 or $2 if we get the altcoin run, and if the S&P 500 holds on. S&P 500 is, not to go over too many charts here, but just kind of holding support on this sloppy trend line that I just drew. If S&P 500 can go and tag our key levels over here that we've talked about, 4,300 and 4,600, then I think altcoins could really see a nice run here in the next week or two.
Awesome, man. Boris, thank you so much for that TA, man. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
I want to move away from charts and move into some legal stuff, because we're all lawyers here, right? Securities and Exchange Commission argues that recent court case, so this was from yesterday, they argue that the recent court case has weakened Ripple's fair notice defense, which is a huge part of why they think they're going to win. A recent court judgment further weakens a key defense made by technology firm Ripple Labs in its ongoing battle with the SEC. The regulator has claimed to a federal judge. The SEC highlighted the judge's opinion in a separate enforcement action it won against investment advisory firm Commonwealth Equity Services. In that case, it was deemed that a long-standing court precedent provides sufficient fair notice. The SEC argued that the long-standing Supreme Court precedent, which gave rise to the Howey test, provides Ripple Labs a fair notice as to what a security is, just as the precedent referred to in the Commonwealth case did. So then you had John Deaton saying this. The fair notice defense is not what a lot of people think it is. I see a lot of comments about how Ripple's fair notice defense is a slam dunk. Make no mistake about it, Ripple hopes the judge never decides the fair notice defense. XRP holders would prefer no decision on this matter. He had previously noted that the fair notice defense only comes into play if the judge decides Ripple's token was a security at any time between 2013 and now. He believes that Ripple's best chance lies in convincing the judge that XRP is not a security based on the Howey test. Then we had this. This was from Ripple. This is essentially their rebuttal. They said, respectfully respond to the notice of supplemental authority. In Commonwealth, the defendant adduced no contemporaneous evidence supporting his defense that market participants lacked fair notice of an obligation to disclose economic conflicts of interest under the Investment Advisors Act. It merely quoted SEC guidance and presented a paid expert who opined that he believes that the guidance did not require these certain disclosures. Robin, I'm going to ask you first. Does this change your thoughts on how which way the Ripple lawsuit's going to land?
It doesn't. This isn't anything new, right? I mean, the fair notice and you know, I'm no lawyer, but it's not anything groundbreaking that we haven't already heard more of. It's just.
Well, here's the thing that people are like, oh crap, is the whole fair notice defense, right? Because judges, especially when it's something new, like, you know, a lawsuit around cryptocurrencies or whatever the case may be, they look to other court cases, or the plaintiff or defendant looks to other court cases like, look, similar, this was a judgment. Why are you doing something different? And so the SEC is bringing up their victory against the Commonwealth, saying that, hey, they also try to fight on the grounds of fair notice, and this is how the judge ruled. Why don't you do the same thing? And that's where people are getting worried.
I don't know. I wouldn't put too much into it. I'm not, even though I feel like they just repackage this information
In a fun and sexy way?
Yeah, they repackage it up like every 3 weeks. Honestly, I'm not hearing anything that I haven't heard before. It's just slightly got a little twist, except for this time, the SEC is likening it to another case. And then 3 weeks from now, it's going to be, well, the judge is going to throw out the Hickman, whatever files.
Emails.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I'm just not, at this point, the judge is done hearing both sides, right? They're at, I forgot the term, but he's kind of
Summary judgment?
Yeah, the summary judgment. So right now, it's just kind of like wait and see. If you were to take the summary judgment and compare it to once again, I'm no lawyer, but from my understanding is that the summary judgment is similar to the jury being in deliberation. It's like you're not going to hear any new evidence, right? At that point,
Right.
You're just waiting for them to come back.
It's pretty much them saying, hey, here's all the evidence to make a judgment on.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. It's like, so whatever is breaking at this point is kind of a moot point because it's not anything that.
But a decision hasn't been made yet. That's the
but that's the thing.
And
But the thing is
both
that
sides
the
can
judge
continue to try to lobby
is
the judge.
supposed to be, going through the evidence that's been submitted and the arguments been submitted, and coming up to his own resolution or his own thoughts or judgment.
So does this say more about the SEC's case and how they're kind of
It's the same thing. Like it's no different. You just got two sides. It's like saying, hey, this guy cut me off and I rear-ended him. And then you're sitting here and in 6 months later, you're like, well, I had my blinker on. I'm like, well, this guy cut me off. It's like both sides have a point and neither side has like broken the other one down. And so nothing new is here. And we can cover this 3 weeks from now again, when all of a sudden they liken it to another case in the 1980s. And the thing is nothing has changed. There's been no fundamental change with this court case. And I'm sorry, but it's just XRP people just looking to talk about something. This is Cointelegraph. No, I know this Cointelegraph. They're like, hey man, we put a XRP story out lately. Nah, what do we got? Put fair notice again. Let's do that one. I mean, am I crazy for
Yeah,
thinking
you
that?
are.
Then I mean, you tried to explain to me why this is so important, but I'm not getting
I agree.
it.
Look,
I'm not getting the importance. I'm not getting the importance
Here's the
of
thing.
this.
I agree that sometimes people just put out XRP news, right? But you had a letter filed to the judge and then a rebuttal. So I think it's important enough to bring up. That's why it's on the show. That's why, every day we don't bring you the same news like this happened today in court, this happened. No, but when stuff like this happens,
It's good to talk about, but I don't. But for me, it doesn't move the needle. That's all I'm saying. If there is some big talking point article on XRP, sure, let's talk about it. But it doesn't move the needle for me.
Does it move the needle for you? I wish I had a needle like Robin with it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. These things are tough, and I think they're super subjective. It's probably going to depend a lot on the judge's inclinations. Look, I mean, the Howey test is it's an investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit to be derived from the effort of others. I think with XRP, and maybe I'm off base here because I'm not a lawyer, but your best bet is probably arguing against the prong that says with the expectation of profit. Because to my knowledge, XRP works regardless of what the price is. It's like a middle currency that is used to facilitate the transfer of other currencies, from country to country. So you could technically, regardless of if I'm not mistaken, you could just send US dollars through XRP to another country cross border, and it doesn't really matter what the price of XRP is at the time. It's just it'll be adjusted based on whatever the price is, and you're only in XRP for a very short period of time. So is there an expectation of profit there? Maybe, but also I think you could argue that XRP's price doesn't matter for its utility. And therefore, you could argue against the expectation of profit. But honestly, this is tough. It's difficult to know for certain what the judge is going to think.
David Bumblebee said there hasn't been any real changes in quite some time. I wish everyone would just shut up about it. Like I said, every day I do run into articles, just kind of the same stuff, the same exact thing. Right, someone says it's almost over, but we don't report on those. But I felt like this one, SEC submitted a letter, Ripple submitted a different one or a rebuttal, and so I thought it was important to talk about. Speaking of the SEC, they're at it again. They are moving toward DeFi oversight as it's reopened their proposed regulations. Sourced from CoinDesk, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, headed by none other than the Honorable Gary Gensler, may be coming for DeFi as it reopened a proposal from last year that would now explicitly target platforms for those crypto transactions as exchanges that need to be regulated. The SEC proposed expanding the definition of the word exchange in January of last year, 2022, to capture a broader swath of trading activity in the U.S. At the time, the agency said in its proposed rulemaking that certain entities engaging in trading activity were not regulated as exchanges, creating a, quote, regulatory disparity. The updated proposal now uses more direct language that includes DeFi in the widening definition of regulated exchanges. This should be pretty interesting. Calling yourself a DeFi platform is not an excuse to defy the securities laws, said Gary Gensler. Such a good play on words. Boris, I want to start with you first. You're pretty active in the DeFi ecosystem. Is it possible? Is it even in the realm of possibilities, even if people wanted it to, for DeFi protocols and Aave and those to register as securities exchanges? Or should we let the code regulate itself?
Yeah, I mean, if you're registering as an exchange, you're not exactly decentralized anymore. So from a regulation perspective, you kind of have to think about who and what are you trying to regulate? Are you trying to regulate the end user? Are you trying to punish the end user, the people who use DeFi protocols, like they did with Tornado Cash? Are you trying to regulate the developers like they did with Tornado Cash, or are you trying to regulate the entities that are building these, kind of the companies that are developing on these protocols? They're trying to force with this, forced registration of as exchanges. At the end of the day, look, DeFi is a spectrum. Decentralization is a spectrum. So there's stuff that's not particularly decentralized, and that there's a company behind it or an organization behind it that's building it, and you can kind of go after that organization. But there's also kind of the other opposite end of the spectrum where the developers are anonymous, and you have something like Gains Network, which is a DeFi derivatives exchange that would be very difficult to regulate. As long as you have an internet connection, you can use Gains Network. So from a regulation perspective, they could either try to find out the identities of the people behind Gains Network and punish them, or you could go after the end user and just ban it straight up, which is a really scary precedent that's been set with Tornado Cash. Like, you're just going to ban people from using a certain platform, or ban people from using a set of code, right? A protocol. Ultimately, I think DeFi will become a headless beast. We'll see, eventually we'll see, regulation push DeFi more and more towards being more immutable, more difficult to regulate. People will probably be able to use, VPNs, which again, with the TikTok bill, that's, crazy if they start banning illegalizing
Jail,
VPNs.
bro, 20
very,
years.
very to think about. Yeah. So
No joke, man.
Ultimately, I think in order to regulate this stuff, you're going to have to go towards more and more draconian measures, which it wouldn't surprise me if the U.S. goes that way. Honestly, if you want to throw on your tinfoil hat, like I think this TikTok ban and the VPN language within it is probably dual purpose to also try to take out crypto as well.
I 100% agree. 100%.
I think, well, here's the thing. We're having a battle between regulators and they're grasping at control in crypto. And, they look at exchanges, whether it's decentralized or centralized exchange, as in their jurisdiction. And so they want to regulate it in the same way that they regulate stock exchanges. Fortunately, they're two different beasts here. Now, perhaps the centralized ones can be regulated in a similar manner that they regulate stock exchanges. There is a company behind it. There is order books in the same way that you have the same setup in crypto exchanges. Now, obviously, it differs in DEX or decentralized platforms, and it doesn't stop the fact that they're going to want to control it. And so, what we're going to have is a battle. And if there is any bit of, as Forrest alluded to, if there's any bit of centralization to the DEX, like the Uniswap Foundation, then that the SEC is going to come knocking on that organization's door. But now, if you have the likes of Bitcoin Network and the likes of Lightning Network, where you're reaching some real decentralization, as far as the fact of one organization running the damn thing. In that sense, there's nobody for the SEC to send a letter to. And I think that's the direction we're going. And I'm just going to be curious when these DEXs start taking capital away from the traditional system, when money is leaving the banks. The major banks in the U.S. are getting upset about it. And they're like, hey, we're losing billions, now maybe trillions of dollars to this industry, and it's leaving our savings and checking account. What are we going to do to stop it? And they're going to look at the SEC to say, hey, what are you guys doing? And that's where we're going to get perhaps as draconian measures, where they're going to try to stop the use of the internet. Because when you're having internet protocol that is decentralized, there's nobody that gives you permission to use it. And so if you have a website browser, you can just type it into the top, and that's it. And unless they stop you from surfing the internet, then there's nothing you can do. And even then, you can VPN and get past that.
Yeah, but then you're going to jail for 20 years.
Yeah, and I just think we're in a very interesting spot. We're in a very interesting part of our maturation of technology and finance, and we're having a transition from the old system to the new, and the old system is increasing its utility through the FedNow payment system, through CBDCs, through private industries like Bank of America, and these other banks are using Zelle and other payment fintech platforms. And so it's kind of like a race, but you got the turtle here, which is the traditional finance, and then you got the efficient, super fast, but sometimes breaks, crypto sector. And I don't know. It's just, this is something we're gonna look back at in 10 years and be like, hey, remember when this thing first kicked off? And I'm just really curious to see how this shapes up, because the U.S. wants to fight it, but it's, right now it's in this little phase. It just got built, so there is somebody that made it. So there is an organization, but at some point, some of these platforms will be decentralized enough where there's nobody at the control, nobody at the helms. And yeah, man, I don't know, dude. And you got to think, man, after a while, people are going to get burned. And as you get burned, you're going to have less trust in the system. You're going to see the counter here, which would be something that's safe, has no counterparty risk as far as manipulation. If you keep your money in a bank and you lose your money, for example, and I know it's all federally insured, but I'm saying even here outside the U.S., let's just say you're in a foreign country and you got your money in a bank and it's all gone. I mean, what are you going to do next time you get some money, a large sum of money or whatever it is? You have a savings. You're going to put it back in the bank again? No, you're going to go look for somewhere else. Same thing. You go take out a loan and you pay 25% interest and you got to put all this money down, and you're like, hey, you know what? There's another company that does, or another platform that does loans. They only want 8% interest, and they're not owned by anybody.
A1 brings up a good point, said they don't regulate, they discriminate. Speaking of the chat, Robin, what's going on?
Didn't see too many new people today, but I do got a few. We got LD Zuno, McCracken, Oye, and then we got Justin.
Pretty sure that's Oye.
Oye, yes, whatever. However you say it.
Wow.
Oh, why?
Wow.
Did you spell it all weird? All right, and then you got BG as well. And so to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Today is our last show of the week
In the studio. Well,
and next week there'll be no show in Las Vegas. It'll be Dirty Bird Crypto.
Dirty Bird Crypto.
That's right.
Yeah, and guys, we will be streaming. You will get a stream 15 minutes earlier than we normally go live. So 10:15 a.m., 1:15 p.m. Eastern, 10:15 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, we'll still be live down there. You gonna join us there in person there, Boris? No?
Yeah. I'll swing by for sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely grab dinner too.
Yeah, I ain't going golfing though. You embarrassed me last time.
I'm down.
But,
Work on my swing.
Yeah, okay. Forrest, we're gonna let you go, my friend. But before we do, is there anything that you would like to leave us with? Anything exciting going on in Ute Street land or Sistine land or Forest land or maybe just the land of Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys see in this bull market or bear market rally, whatever we're in, this bullish pump, these margin pressure levels have been really, really nice to trade. So if you want access to those, go check out Sistine.ai. If you want to join the Discord, you can also do so there as well. We just published another research report on an NFT project that is minting next week that I'm kind of bullish on. So hopefully that'll turn into a solid opportunity. If you want to read more about that, that's in the Research Hub subscription over at Sistine.ai. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing you guys next week. It's going to be fun.
Amen, my friend. We are as well. Is the weather going to be nice when we're down there?
I mean, it's a little cloudy right now. It's a little rainy, but the weather's been between 50 and 70 for the last, week or so. So should be nice.
No flip flops. No flip flops.
Yeah, you could probably do flip flop. Let me check the weather real quick. Let me check the weather. Looks like
What are the charts saying?
60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah, it's gonna be like mid 70s all week.
We have an Airbnb with a pool. If you want to come hang out with us poolside.
And yeah, if you like your steaks medium well, for sure as well, come over. Right, Robin? Anyways, Forrest, thank you so much. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Sisney Research, please click the link in the description of this video. Go subscribe. Show us.
I'm just curious. One last thing here. Okay. The last time we went to Atlanta, that's where you found your delicious barbecue chicken pizza. Are you going to revisit this?
Disgusting. That was
Are you going to go? Are you going to revisit?
That place was gross, man.
You should do a video. You go back there.
Yeah, should we, Rocco? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not there, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. We'll do
I'm just saying that's where Rocco had the horrified look on his face. Was there?
Oh my God, I think it was this.
Yeah, he was looking around for anything to stab me with, like a pencil or like that movie Casino. Anyways, Forrest, thank you again, my friend. We will see you next week, and until then, take care.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for having me on as usual. Peace.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Real quick, Maninja, if you're in here, Jimmy wants to give you money. Just join the Discord. Say, hey, it's Maninja. Actually, if I do that, then he'll just, what if it's a random person? Anyways, just join the Discord, and Jimmy wants to give you 500 gala.
Also, we got Kenneth G in OKC and Crypto Dave. Hola!
And
welcome.
And Pakasad.
Pakasad, he's been here before.
Yeah, but he wants an hola, bro.
Pakasad. Don't be sad. Hola! Welcome.
Northwest Crypto said, welcome to Atlanta where the players play.
Mm.
And then ride on things like every day.
That's right.
I think we're done.
Are you gonna miss doing the show here next week?
I'm gonna miss my
Rocco. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna miss
week?
my wife.
He's not coming. He's not coming with us.
Yeah, we're gonna do. It's gonna go poolside, and and then walk a little bit in the desert.
You're a Speedo guy, aren't you?
Okay. Finger tornado.
No, not yet. I gotta get an answer.
You can't use Speedo and finger tornado in the same sentence. Just say it, bro.
The Speedo tornado.
Yeah, that's you gotta keep the finger away.
If you're in your 20s,
away from the Speedo, bro.
Rocco, I got Talladega said, Rocco, è ora di farla girare. Il locale stasera è a parte da.
Is there anybody there? Anybody in the chat want to come hang out with us? Anybody want to meet up with us?
Brokioshi is gonna come hang out with us. I'm excited, man. Tuesday. Brokioshi, I can't wait to meet you, bro. Our first ever whale member was Brokioshi. He's been with us for a long time. We are stoked to meet you, my friend. Can't wait.
Yeah, just don't order pizza with
If you're in the Atlanta region or plan on traveling down there anytime next week, reach out to us.
Speedo tornado, I like that.
Speedo tornado. But you never answered the question. Do you wear Speedos when you go pool or what?
No, I wear Speedo when I was in my 20s. That looks very nice and lean.
Come on, man. You've been working out, bro.
He's still a
You're
handsome
good,
man.
man.
He's still a handsome man.